Right. Yeah, of course.
So there's there's a lot to it. But
Now, how much of a sample is that? You need that whole sample.
yeah, about 1.5 grams, 2
Really?
grams, something
So-
like that.
so-
but it's non-destructive.
Oh, it's non-destructive. I get it back.
You get it back, and
Oh.
you
No,
throw
I
it.
get to keep it.
Oh, that's the. Now I get it.
That's what we did in Denver.
Now I get it.
The,
This is a really good sativa, Jack. This is Candy Jack.
Okay.
I'm a sativa. You know, during the day I'll have a little bit of sativa. I don't smoke a lot, but maybe a joint a day. But sativas, you know, tend to get me focused, keep me solid in terms of a plan for the day. Before, I used to have anxiety, distractedness, ADHD, all of that, and I tried a couple of the drugs out there, and my son as well, and it was tragic what happened to my son with Adderall, and tragic in the sense of for 7 years he didn't get better, he got worse.
Get it? I
Yeah.
get that.
I will tell you that I don't have the hyperactive component, but I have ADD, and one of my sons has ADD, and when we were both on Adderall,
Yeah.
what would happen is towards the end of the day, it's wearing off, and yeah, Adderall gets you focused and everything else, but when it wears off, I think you go below your baseline.
That's right. That's right.
And we weren't getting along very much towards the evening.
No.
And it was really rotten business.
Yeah.
And no, we don't believe in that stuff anymore.
Good for you. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are starting to learn that, you know, I mean, on the surface, you treat a hyperactive kid who can't focus, who's distracted in class, with a compound that is basically, it's amphetamine, it's speed, right? So
It's a stimulant.
it is stimulant. So I guess there's some medical, there's so many different zones in the brain that you can, like Dr. Amen, I think, has done the scanning of the brain,
Yeah, I know.
so you can see what areas
That's
I know.
has that. Yeah, he's the guy.
That's the guy. Yeah,
he's-
Gogo wants to get one of those scans. I think she needs it though.
Although he needs to be
My
taught
scans
more
are-
about cannabis, because he won't admittedly say that cannabis has an effect on these neurological, what I call different forms of autism, which we've gotten through chemicals that we've ingested into our systems over the years in food and through our heritage and lineage and all that. It depends on how polluted our bodies really get.
Well, I think the natural products are inherently safer and
What'd you
work
call
better.
this?
This is
Candy Jack.
Candy
Candy
Jack.
Jack.
Yep.
CANDYJACK.
Which is good potency for
So I just
on a
put
GC
that-
scale.
Okay, there you go.
I just put that in there, and then what happens is you can view data,
Yeah.
and then it records all the readings. So there's Candy Jack, okay?
All right.
You know, fluctuate around a little bit.
So it's up to, okay, because depending on the sample, it basically takes every little square millimeter of the sample, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what
What this fixture is, it's a three-dimensional optical sample holder that illuminates the sample and reads from 3 angles at the bottom and mixes the video signal and sends it into an infrared spectrometer, which is the size of your
Right.
hand,
Yeah.
down in the bottom.
Okay.
So it's the only one like it. I
Wow.
designed that one,
That-
and it's in for a patent now.
Very good. Well, that's exactly what it said on the menu, was 15.0. So,
Is that right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
we do have an issue in the industry in that there is no analytical procedure that is agreed upon by everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But there is some stuff that's being promoted now.
Mhm.
As the pharmacopoeia for natural products.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys behind it is El Soli. You know about Muhammad
I don't.
He's been analyzing weed. He's down in Mississippi
Mm-hmm.
at the university, which is the only place where you can legally.
Mohammed Al-Soli?
Yeah.
S-O-L-I-E?
Sohley.
Okay.
His program down there has been growing marijuana for the federal government.
And you can keep that sample.
Thank you.
Yes.
What happened
Yes.
when the old marijuana tax stamp law was thrown out during the Nixon administration?
Mm-hmm.
It was the Supreme Court said, no, this is crazy law. So they quickly came up with an alternative. But there were people who brought suit. It was a joint action suit against the government protesting that law, and there were about 8 or 10 people, and as part of it, who had medical uses. And the government, when they lost that suit, and they came out with a new law, but these guys were caught in between,
Mm-hmm.
the government has to provide them cannabis. And they've been providing these guys like
Wow.
100 joints a year.
That's funny.
And they've been growing it at this research program
Yeah.
at University of Mississippi, and it's the only place in the U.S.
I was going to say, in Mississippi is not even a legal state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all for research.
It's sanctioned by the federal government or state government?
By the feds.
By the feds.
It's
Well,
the only legal place.
wow.
And that'll continue on until these guys
Is there
die.
data on that that is available online?
Yeah, I can send you a reference to it.
Okay, cool.
They're coming up. They've come up with a pharmacopoeia. I'm from an overview point of, I know generally about the analytical procedures. I haven't done a lot of hands-on work to say, well, this method's a little better than that method, But at the end of the day, the most important thing is that everybody agrees on one particular analytical procedure.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, there's going to be variances, and we see it when we do this calibration work.
Mm-hmm.
We see one lab gives us different sets of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
If you change the analytical method, then there will be systematic differences.
Okay,
in the
I
data
get, of
set,
course, right,
Which
right.
everybody,
And everyone can't get quite together on the methodology yet.
no, but there are people trying to form associations
Right,
and groups.
right.
And but it's a lot of work. And
This method would appear to me that is the truest method of getting these readings. Is that a fair statement?
well, this will use information from those laboratory methods. This can see optical differences in the plant
Right.
and see them quite well. However, it's like a child. You have a child who can barely speak. Kid can see the difference between red and blue,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't know to call it red. He doesn't know to call
Mhm.
it blue. So, in a crude way, what we do is teach the instrument how to give the results. We show it a large set of samples.
Right.
Then we take the sample that comes right out of this cup,
Mm-hmm.
send it to the lab in a good sealed bag.
Okay.
Have the analytics.
Oh, I
done.
see. So you do that as a rule. Would we do that if we were to?
If you
Take-
were,
take
if you become a
ownership,
data
yeah,
source,
right.
If you become a data source
Right.
during the first month,
Yep.
you'll be doing that for 20 samples.
Okay.
You will give us back the infrared spectrum, which you do the save spectrum right here.
Okay.
Once it's on there and it's stabilized, I just did it and I stuck it in a folder on the desktop.
Okay.
So you'd have 20 samples in there. Then you package it up and send it off to the lab.
Okay.
And when you get the lab back, you just take a photo with your phone.
Okay.
And then you email us that along with the sample names that match.
Got it.
And then we'll put them in
Okay.
the model builder.
Okay.
And we'll tell you which samples were bad from the lab.
Okay.
If they were.
If they were right,
Okay.
or were they accurate?
Yeah, well,
Right.
no, I have a graph that you could click on the graph.
Yep.
And it'll actually show you, I can show you what that graph looks like.
Okay.
You have to understand there's a very significant difference between accuracy and precision.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen you just get a big bullseye.
Yeah.
You draw a bullseye on a chalkboard, and you do it twice.
Right.
On one bullseye, you put a very, very tight pattern of X's, but you put it way off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And on another one, you put a big pattern, but more spread out, but the locus of all those points is dead center.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So this
Well, the one that has the type pattern, that's more precise. Okay.
So this shows you all the samples from a data hive that I've got out of Seattle.
Okay.
That here is the THC, all the stuff that came back from the lab.
Mm-hmm.
On one axis is the lab value, and the other axis is the
And
optical value that this thing predicts.
So-
And you can see when they line up, they go across, and when you get a nice straight line and a type pattern, you've got it.
And so
If-
here's the CBD line, and
Yep.
here's the moisture line.
Mhm.
And then this is a kind of summary that says these guys are a little bit outside of where they're supposed to be, and I can click on that, and it'll tell you what sample it is.
Okay. Cool. Very cool.